everyone.
What's up guys, Unofficial MCU here. Hope you're all doing well, and in this video we are going to be discussing new Avengers Doomsday rumors into the regards of its plot details, what Dr. Doom's big goal is, like what his actual role is going to be as Marvel Studios' next big multiversal big bad, essentially the next Thanos for the multiversal saga. Guys, we're gonna hop right on into it, break it all down for you guys, everything that we know and everything that we're anticipating right now. Before we do though, however, grab that subscribe button if you haven't already, as we're discussing and covering all types of Marvel related news, leaks, rumors, theories, and breakdowns here on the channel. So if you guys are into any of that, go ahead and grab that subscribe button today. Okay, so in this video we are going to be taking a quick read from HeroicHollywood.com as an overall garnering source. I'll have their article linked in the description down below for you guys to check out there as well. Will Dr. Doom actually be a bigger threat to the multiverse? A new rumor has revealed how Marvel will set up RDJ's return as a true threat to Avengers Doomsday. Not just that, but also what the comic storyline is being based off of. Now, when it was revealed that RDJ would be taking over the Jonathan Majors as the main villain of Marvel's current saga, the multiversal saga, fans were left scratching their heads about how that would actually work. Characters like Kang and Thanos were set up for years prior before they took their role as a villain, leaving the comparativelessness to no time for the studio to set up Dr. Doom prior to Avengers Doomsday, essentially. And so it feels like maybe things could be a bit more rushed than you would maybe hope for or would really want to. One of the prevailing theories was that RDJ would be playing a Tony Stark variant in Avengers Doomsday, with Marvel using his history in the MCU as a bit of a shortcut to set up the villain. However, the idea was quickly debunked by RDJ himself, revealing of how his version of Dr. Doom will in fact be a variant of Victor Von Doom. Now, of course, for those of you out there know that there is a comic storyline of essentially where, you know, Iron Man sees himself quite literally to live long enough to become the villain, essentially, and becomes Dr. Doom. That isn't Victor Von Doom, though, however, and so RDJ is confirming and solidifying that this time around he is actually playing Victor Von Doom, not this other Iron Man variant that essentially becomes Dr. Doom. So it leaves the question, what is Marvel's plan for Dr. Doom in Avengers Doomsday? This left the question of how Marvel will make Dr. Doom feel like a real threat in Avengers Doomsday unanswered, and furthermore, more so of a question, let alone setting things up. Luckily, a new rumor from thecosmiccircus.com as an overall other garnering source seemingly reveals the studio's plans to make RDJ Jr. a threat to the multiverse. Sadly for Kang fans, it seems like their course of action will be less than kind to his character and the infinite variants among them as well, and it seems that they're pretty much going to be playing off of Kang's character to help set things up for Victor Von Doom. If they go for what they want for Doom in this movie, Avengers Doomsday, they'd have a fantastic explanation that not only sets him up perfectly for when we do see him in Doomsday, but also places him in a position of where he can actually easily become one of the most justifiable antagonists in Marvel as well. Maybe even more so than Thanos even. If you really want to know why in Latveria the flowers die in the summer, then you'd already know where to look. That final line is quite key to understanding Marvel's plans for RDJ's Doom in Avengers Doomsday. It's a reference to the new Avengers number 33, where Dr. Doom is tasked with killing every version of Molecule Man to prevent an incursions set up by the Beyonders. While the MCU doesn't have a Molecule Man yet, it does have an infinity reoccurring villain associated with incursions, which would be Kang, suggesting that almost every version and variant of Kang will be killed during the opening minutes of the film, setting the stage quite heavily for Victor Von Doom. Avengers Doomsday is set to hit theaters, of course, in May of 2026, so there is still time for them to set things up with this, but I think that's a big crucial part of the storyline that we'll actually see in Avengers Doomsday. And as I had also touched on there briefly, I even think that it's something that could make Victor Von Doom a more memorable character and more of a character to almost like relate to, because he's trying to actually almost act as like a hero in this case, trying to stop these incursions. Now, incursions were something that were mentioned and explained in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, touched on briefly and a little bit also even in Spider-Man No Way Home. So if we keep getting projects like that leading up to the events of Avengers Doomsday and kind of setting things up like that, those just little key explanations essentially help set things up for them in Avengers Doomsday, so they're able to loop back around to that and be like, oh yeah, remember when when we mention that and explain that there, here's a brief crash course on what that is and why that's important and why that's a threat. So the Beyonders is something else that would have to be kind of set up, I think, in a way, in for Avengers Doomsday. But essentially, as I had also mentioned, the Beyonders don't necessarily need to be set up at the same time, because what the Beyonders were doing were causing incursions and in Avengers number 33. And so this time around in the MCU, who's causing the incursions? It would be these Kang variants, essentially. Arguably, it would also be America Chavez, as seen in Multiverse of Madness, but that's a whole nother discussion. And even at that, by the end of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, by the end of that movie, I would also believe Doctor Strange to even be causing incursions himself by doing these magical spells and stuff like that. Now, we'll see how Agatha All Along plays out, the Disney Plus series, but that's another area where we would see these incursions being kind of something set up there as well, and being a thing there as well. Now, a very common theory that I've stood by here on the channel, have discussed and covered here plenty of times here on the channel, is that I think that the Fantastic Four First Steps movie coming out in the summer of next year is also going to be a huge spot of where we're going to be seeing incursions. That's set in another alternate reality, essentially. So how that Fantastic Four group ends up into the actual 611 sacred timeline is something else that would have to be explained by an incursion. They would have to multiverse hop around, essentially time travel around almost in a way into that universe, and well, Doctor Doom would either accidentally follow or purposely follow and kind of like backtrack, lead them to be the ones causing these different incursions. Like Doctor Doom's already out there and maybe trying to figure out who's causing these different incursions, leads it to believe that it's actually the Fantastic Four, as seen in the Fantastic Four First Steps movie coming out next year, and then he'll have to like kind of point his finger at them and be like, you guys are causing these incursions, I'm going to fight you guys. And, you know, maybe they have different ways, as I had also mentioned, because I also feel like that Doctor Doom is going to be playing both sides of it. He's really trying to act as a hero. He's trying to stop these incursions because they're going to cause bad multiversal stuff, essentially, which would set things up for Battle World, as seen in Avengers Secret Wars comic storyline. That's also a huge implication to what fans believe we'll see in the actual Avengers Secret Wars movie, followed to be released in 2027. But guys, let me know what you guys all think in the comments down below. I would love to hear what you guys are all thinking, your thoughts and opinions, your theories as well. Let me know what you guys are all thinking in the comments down below, guys. Thanks so much for watching today's video. It means the absolute world to me. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Have a great one. Peace out.